As you may know, I am the creator of an opening sequence for a film called Room for Two. And for today's part 3 of my reflection, I will be reflecting on how my production skills developed throughout the creation of this project, with the use of a slideshow presentation format. The first part of filmmaking that I will reflect on and assess how I've grown in is editing. Now, I do have some former editing experience and simply just know the basics, which is due to my involvement in editing the past 2 projects, which are the music video and the advertisement. However, this time I will say there's things that I've done now that I've never done before. And I think this is due to the genre of the film. With the thriller, there's many more things you have to think about rather than a music video or an advertisement. You need to create this certain atmosphere, which requires a lot of effects, music, sound effects, which you may not be using in a different genre. One of these things that you may see exclusively in thrillers are sound cues. For example, anytime we popped up the intruder onto the screen, I used a staticky and creepy sound cue to signify that he was there. In addition to this, we placed a filter over the video anytime he popped up. Now this also signified the presence of the intruder, but also created the dark atmosphere I was aiming for. With these both being things that I've never done before and had to contribute due to the genre of the film, I took time to learn how to incorporate these effectively in order to fit the genre and create the film to the best of my ability. Now, to quickly touch on the actual filming, I honestly don't feel like I learned much since I'm really familiar with using a phone camera and know how to handle it and the settings. But if there's one thing I would say I learned, is how to effectively use point of view shots. I did already know what a point of view shot was and how to film one, but I learned that in order to not overuse the POV shot, you must sprinkle it in throughout the film and incorporate other kinds of shots. Because becoming reliant on the POV shot can make the film almost nausea-inducing due to the constant movement of the camera. One final component of filmmaking that I'd like to speak about is communication. Many times in the past 2 projects, including the music video and the advertisement, my group mates and I were divided on several things. For example, my group mate Max preferred the editing software Adobe Premiere Pro, while I preferred the editing software CapCut. And when using 2 different softwares, transferring over the files can become tricky and cause issues. And in the advertisement, we did find issues regarding the resolution when transferring the files from one editing software to another. Something else we were divided on in the past project is whether we should delegate parts of the film for each of us to edit or edit together. Because I felt like editing together made it more inclusive to everybody's opinion and helped us to not to have to go back and forth over text on whether someone should include something or not include something when they are editing their specific part of the film. Thankfully, this time we each made compromises where we needed to in order to fit everyone's needs and prevent any disagreements. Overall, I do feel like I improved a lot in this project and got better at my overall filmmaking skills. That will conclude part 3 of my reflection, and I will see you guys in part 4. Have a good day.